Hey everybody, it's your girl Barbie J, and we are back with a new season of Tyler Perry's comedy drama, Sisters. Season 7, Episode 1, New Beginnings. And it starts off with Danny waking up, and it was a dream that she was being snatched in that airport parking lot. We should have realized Tyler Perry with his dream stuff, but this is the new writers, so we shall see. So, and she wakes up, she got the new blonde braids in. She got Tony in the bed with her with his dark chocolate skin, and he's like baby this and baby that. So he thinks that her dreams may mean something more than what she's putting on, and she's trying to ignore it and saying how it felt so real. But then she's like, it's nothing. She has an active imagination and all of this stuff. She was making excuses, but he thinks she should see a therapist, and that's what we all think she should see. Matter of fact, we think they all need to see a therapist. Anywho, next we have Andy in the kitchen cooking, dressed up. Okay, we have never in the 6 seasons of Sisters seen Andy cook jack, let alone dressed up. We ain't never seen her with an apron, a spoon, a fork in her hand unless she was out to eat dinner. So I don't know what's going on. But then when they recast this Jordan, and I'm not feeling him right now, but I will see. It's just the beginning. And then they had Penelope and Gary get off the elevator together, talking about our guests are here. Is this another dream sequence? Ain't no way in the world. This is real life. 3 months later, I'm totally confused right now. Everybody is so forgiving. What is happening here? Maybe I'm dreaming. I think Barbie J is dreaming, y'all. Now we have Pam on her social media trying to advertise for the grand opening of Karen's Fresh Start Salon. And now we get to see Karen with the baby bump. But not for nothing, y'all. Something looked different about Pam. It ain't just the hair. Something else looked different with Pam. I don't know if she had some work done. But I don't know. Y'all put it down in the comment section. Maybe I'm seeing things. But something looked different other than her hair. She looked a little different. And I'm loving Karen's hair falling around her. But that baby bump with that outfit looked crazy. I know they wanted us to see the bump. But I can't see somebody as fashionable as, Karen could be at times looking like that. There's nicer pregnancy outfits to wear. I don't know. That looked kind of funny. And they should have made her boobs look bigger too, because when you get pregnant, your boobs blow up and her boobs still look small. So they better stuff that bra in the next couple of episodes. I'm just saying, because my girls blew up. Anyway, then they had Pam ask her about that old contractor. He ghosted her and something about his relationship with his wife and all of this stuff. And Karen had to get a new contractor. So everybody who said that contractor something had to do with Aaron, not. That theory went straight out the window. Okay, that Aaron theory is gone. Bye bye, baby, bye bye. But the fact that what Pam said, maybe he was feeling Karen, and they having marital problems and all of this stuff. That's still not a reason to leave somebody high and dry, especially if she paid him for his work, if you know what I mean. Now we got Zach and Fatima, and we finding out that little Michael was put in a foster home with some white parents, of course. But there's a date pending for arbitration. Fatima feels that there's no way that the courts won't let them bring Michael home. And yes, we did know that Heather was going to do this. She called the police on them and everything, but we'll see what happens and how this plays out, especially when they learn the condition that Michael was in and how he was living in Heather's apartment. Okay, so now we have Sabrina. She's settling in her new office as the assistant manager at this branch of the bank. And she gets a phone call from Maurice, and Maurice is talking to her. And, she's still feeling bad that he didn't get his job. I would bring you back. And he's still doing his online sexcapade thingy because he got to make money. And so Sabrina's asking him how what are they doing tonight? Him and Calvin. And he said, oh, Calvin, I must not have told you. Calvin moved away with this white biatch. And I said, oh, Lord Jesus. So, bing, 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 bing. Calvin was definitely one of the cast members who was not coming back. And we knew it because they really did not have um, anywhere else for his character to go or grow. There was no space for him. Sabrina didn't want him, so there's nothing else for him. And our girl Sabrina was shocked. Her mouth was hanging wide open. So back over to Danny and Tony. They are talking, and he's like, for almost 3 months now, she's been waking up with these nightmares and dreams. And she's saying the only person she knows that's ever went to see a therapist was her Uncle Junebug. And he came back from Desert Storm and he thought he was a robot or whatever it was. And he's like, it's more than just for batshit crazy uncles or whatever he said. But then he named all the reasons or possible reasons that you may need a therapist. And then he admitted that he himself was seeing a therapist. And Danny looked surprised. So it seems that Tony is really, caring about Danny, and Danny's just trying to brush it off, which makes me feel that she never told him what happened with Jonah. I don't think she told him that she was attacked in the apartment by this guy, because if she had, maybe he would be bringing that up, saying maybe she really, really needs to see a therapist. But he's insisting that she sees it. He's showing that he cares, and she's not getting it, and she's just ignoring everything he's saying. And he gets up and goes into the bathroom, and he makes a phone call. And what we later find out is the person he called was Sabrina. I thought he was calling like an ex-wife, his kids and stuff, because then after he came out the bathroom finally, he had on all his clothes and he was leaving. And she's like, where you going? Oh, I got to run an errand. She's like, but I thought we was going to, he said, yeah, I'll be back. I just need to run this errand. I'll be right back. And that's when he opened the door and Sabrina was standing there. And so Danny's like, what are you doing here? And Sabrina let her know that Tony called her and that they need to talk. And she's like, talk about what? And she said, these nightmares you're having and therapy. And so I guess they're going to have a nice little conversation. But before Sabrina got there, remember, she was at the bank and just found out that Calvin moved away and didn't say bye to her. And she was feeling some kind of way. So Sabrina was in her feelings, to be honest. And, Maurice let her know, that the white girl was a little freaky, and she didn't mind that he had his little feminine size. You had a problem with it, and she didn't mind the lace panties and the vibrator and the booty and all of that stuff. And Sabrina was like, he didn't? And then she was like, well, I thought we were friends. He could at least say bye. And Maurice let her know that he couldn't say bye to her. And she's like, why? And he said, I don't want your head to get so big or anything. But he said that if he had to face you and say goodbye again, say goodbye, he might not have been able to leave and go because that man really loved you and cared about you. And so Sabrina was like, but still, like I said, she was feeling some kind of way, but you didn't want him, Sabrina. So let it go. So she's still talking to Maurice when he's asking her when she gonna get together with some good man or something like that. And that's when Rich comes around the corner with some flowers for her. So she gets off the phone with Maurice and she takes the fake plastic flowers because they look so fake. Y'all couldn't get some real flowers for this scene or something. Them things look so super fake. I was like, oh my God, please. That just turned me off right then and there. I don't know why. But Rich comes in, he's talking to her and figured she'd be there late and all this stuff. And she's happy that she got her news. She's back in her, old job, like I said before. And he comes in there and they're talking. Next thing you know, he wants to come around and kiss her and want to try to make out in her office. What we doing here? This is her job. She just got her job and she's like, she tried to be cool and say, come on, show me how much you care. Like, come around the desk and hug me. I said, she seems so uncomfortable even saying that because that's not who you are, Sabrina. But Sabrina was in her head thinking about how the freaky white girl, would have done it. And she even mentioned the freaky white girl while hugging Rich. And Rich is like, what? And she's like, oh, no, I'm just thinking something in my head or something like that. And he was about to try to have sex with her on her desk. And she's like, no, I just got this job. I can't lose my job. Girl, there's cameras everywhere. So then he's talking about he got a car, his car is out back. And Sabrina don't know what she want to do because that's not her. But she's like, oh, let me hurry up and go before I lose my courage to do it. I was like, you need courage to do that? So, I was like, Sabrina, don't get your behind caught out there on the surveillance in the parking lot, the bank surveillance in the parking lot, having sex with some guy. That would be really dumb for you to even try it. Just wait till we get home and do it at home. So now we back over at the salon with Karen and Pam. And Karen's doing this sweeping and she's carrying boxes and all this stuff. And Pam is like, put that down. You shouldn't be carrying it. She's dropping the stuff on the floor instead of being careful with it. Pam's still on her social media site and all that stuff. And when she's really supposed to be helping Karen prepare for the grand opening, Karen's sweeping and getting things ready. And then Pam is insisting that she call one of her men's. She's like, call Aaron, he'll be here in a snap. Call Zach, but Karen don't want to call neither one of them. She don't want them there. And she said, and if Zach came here and tried to lift one thing, Fatima would break every bone in his body or something like that, she said. And she right about that. And I honestly don't think this is Zach's issue, and Zach should not be there helping her. I don't think he should. I think Karen need to just hire somebody else to assist. What happened to all those stylists she had, or those people that Aaron had hired? Or she need to get online and go to something like TaskRabbit. They have these little apps where you can hire somebody to come and help you fix up and move things around and stuff like that. So Karen was adamant that she didn't want Zach nor Fatima up in her salon. And then she started throwing shade about Fatima's need to get her edges laid or something like that. And people were saying, I know she not talking about people's hair when we used to see the glue off of her wig. And I said, oh, snap, really? But Karen was trying to throw some shade. So they end up leaving and said they'll come back tomorrow to do some more work. In the meantime, Zach is in the house drinking a beer, talking to Fatima, letting her know he feel like he should be doing more to get Michael back. And Fatima was like, what more can you do, babe? She said, I told you, you just got to have patience. The family court system is very slow. They move at a very slow pace. And she said, look, here, take my phone. He said, well, what am I going to do with that? Call your lawyer. You call your lawyer. Yeah, call Andy. You hired her for that. And I'm like, Andy's a divorce lawyer. Does that fall under family court? I don't know. Because he hired her. She told him, you hired a good attorney, so talk to her. That'll make you feel better. So he calls Andy to see, what's going on. Andy is in the penthouse with guest company, and she takes the phone call and she tries to calm him down. And he's like, maybe we could, hire somebody to catch Heather doing something illegal, and then we could catch her and get all this stuff. And Fatima's looking at him like, are you lost your damn mind? And Andy's like, you will not do that, because if her attorney finds out and catches it, it could be bad for you, because then you're harassing her and all this stuff. He's like, well, I just feel like I should be doing something. She said, just relax and let the system take its course. So he was like, okay. So he gets off the phone and Fatima's trying to think of things that'll help him relax. And he said he could think of some things that could help him relax. And of course, he's talking about sex. And she was like, well, come on, let's go upstairs. She was going upstairs. She said, don't keep me waiting. And she gets upstairs and you hear her start the vibrator. He said, oh, shoot. He runs up the steps and that's them having their little fun. Then we switch over to Andy's penthouse. And remember, Andy has stepped away from her guests, who were Jordan, Gary, and Penelope, to answer the phone. And Gary was acting like a real a-hole. He refused to eat any of her food. Oh, you made that? No, I'll pass. And even Penelope passed, but she only passed because she pregnant, probably didn't want it anyway. But Gary turned up his nose at everything. He was being real funky. He was being nasty. Everything he was saying had an attitude, whereas Penelope is like, Gary, really, Gary? And then he's like, mind your business, Penelope. I said, oh, stay out of it, Penelope. I said, oh my God. And Penelope's looking at her brother and Andy saying how they look so happy together. And she said, they were like, we are, and they all lovey-dovey and stuff. And Gary is not liking it at all. And Andy said, what about y'all? How are y'all doing? And then Gary tried to fake it and put his hands, oh, we just in love, kissing and stuff. But you just told her to mind her business or stay out of it or whatever. He was very rude to her. And I still don't know why she's still pregnant, because she was 7 months pregnant 3 months ago. So now she is absolutely 10 months pregnant. She must be ready to drop any minute now. I mean, because this makes no sense. I don't know what these new writers were thinking. But anyway, Gary is being funky. They move over to the couch, and they're sitting there, and he's still being nasty. And he's like, why did you invite us here anyway? This doesn't even make any sense. Why would you do that? And a couple of times Jordan looked like he wanted to say something or do something, but he didn't. And mind y'all, remember Tony and Rich had told them Jordan had been a professional, I thought, football player. This dude don't look like he could have been a professional football player no more than the other guy did. So I don't get that, but I digress. Anyway, Gary is acting like a fool. He's not being nice. He was being very rude. They Andy tells them that the reason that they did invite him was because Jordan was missing his sister Penelope. And I just felt they should have met at Jordan's house and not there, because Gary starts with oh, I need to go to the bathroom. And she said, okay, it's straight through. He said, I know where it is. I did buy you this penthouse. He's throwing that stuff up in her face and saying things like that. And I was like, wow, he was really nasty. So he really wasn't over Andy. But before he left and did that, I believe that's when he decided to make a contribution to Jordan's campaign for city council. And he made $100,000 contribution. And Andy was like, oh, that's too much. We can't take it. And Penelope said, you said you wanted to let things go and smooth things out. So let my brother accept that. Because I'm like, why is it Andy's place to say we can't accept it? You're not married to him. Okay. You just his girlfriend. So, what's his name? Gary stood right there and told him to check your campaign right now. And he saw the $100,000. And so he's like, wow, thank you, Gary. Thank you so much. And Penelope's like, oh, baby, that's so generous of you. And she's kissing him and stuff. But Gary did come in the penthouse talking about how rich he is and how he got all this money and stuff. I was like, what is going on with Gary? Gary has not gotten over Andy. He act like he didn't care about her, like her, but he still had feelings for her. So when he went in that bathroom and he was in there for a while, they're like, well, what's taking him so long? Meanwhile, Penelope's telling Andy all these little embarrassing stories about Jordan when he was younger and stuff. You know how family does when you get them with your new boo and stuff, and they start trying to embarrass you. So Gary's in there and he starts opening up drawers and stuff, and he goes in there and takes a pair of her panties out, and he's looking at them and sniffing them and sniffing them. Meanwhile, Andy's saying, what's taking him so long? Andy said, what's taking him so long? So Penelope said, let me go check on him. And so she goes in there and she opens the door and says, hello. But it was like too late. He was in there jerking off and with Andy's panties, underwears. And Penelope said, oh my God, what are you doing? And that's how it went off. So y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode. I mean, I didn't think it was all of that. Hopefully episode 2 and 3 and 4 are much better. But this was okay. So I will see you all in the next video. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. It's your girl, Barbie J, saying Happy New Year to everyone. Peace.